The average millennial can afford a fraction of the S&P that their parents, their baby boomer parents, could when they were 30. A fraction of the real estate, a fraction of gold, a fraction of everything, which is why I've been a big proponent of crypto as the one opportunity for the younger generation and technology, because those are the only things that are going to really accrue wealth in the same way that your parents did from just buying the S&P 500. And you need to beat the balance sheet as well, which is growing at 7% a year or something on average. So you've got quite a high hurdle rate to actually get richer. So once you understand the world in these terms, you understand why populism rose so fast. Right? People just turned around and said, well, I'm not participating. The market's at all-time highs. The billionaires are all laughing, drinking champagne, flying jets.
According to Raoul, millennials, Gen Z, and anyone seeking to build wealth have a compelling option in the form of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. He suggests that previous generations, particularly baby boomers, had better opportunities, benefiting from higher real wages, affordable housing, and growing stock markets. However, the current economic landscape poses challenges as entry barriers are higher, and purchasing power has diminished. In contrast, Raoul believes that the two most promising opportunities of our time are cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence, which have witnessed rapid adoption rates. Embracing these transformative technologies presents unprecedented possibilities for substantial gains. Raoul asserts that witnessing the birth and early adoption of these technologies allows us to tap into exceptional opportunities that have never been seen before. In his analysis, he presents a contrarian hypothesis indicating that technological advancements and the rise of artificial intelligence may lead us towards deflation, which bodes well for innovation and the cryptocurrency market. To gain deeper insights, make sure to watch the entire video where Raoul breaks down his views on this bullish outlook.
We're seeing things like AI and new technologies coming in that replace workers. So if you look at Amazon now has, I think it's 1.5 million employees and 500,000 robot employees. If you think of them in those terms. Those robots work 24/7, 365. They're more productive than humans in the roles that they do. But let's assume they're the same productivity. So they've got an equal robot man-hours versus man-hours. And that equation is going to keep happening because technology does one thing. It looks at the highest cost and destroys it. So everything that gets digitized goes to zero in cost. We've seen it with cloud compute, with mobile phone data, with literally everything. So that pervasive trend of technology and the productivity of technology plus demographics makes it almost impossible. So why we got the inflation is not a function of the money that got printed. That washes in and washes out. It was a function of no supply because factories were having to get back up online and supply chains were broken and everybody coming out of lockdowns. That demand and supply, we saw exactly that after World War II. Same outcome. We've been following the charts identical, is inflation rises up and then it just collapses back down. You'll have an echo because of the year-on-year effects, but it doesn't come back. And I don't see a reason why it's going to come back. When I press people to say, show me, they say, deglobalization. I'm like, fine. When I look at the amount of world trade, it's basically stabilized. It's not shrinking. And we're also seeing supply chains change. So the US moves away from China and moves to Mexico. It's not all coming back to the US. So I'm like, somebody needs to show me a real data-driven reason why inflation is going to stick. Usually when you get down to it, when you open your mind and listen to what they're saying, they're manifesting their own fears or desires. It's the fear of the 70s redux that's coming from an older group because they want justice for what central banks have done. They want their justice. They want to be proven that if you mess around with money, it creates inflation. I don't think it does. It creates acid inflation because of the denominator effect. I think inflation is very hard to actually create for extended periods of time without demand, and that has to come. So look what's happened. Once you understand this process, you can see that real wages have not risen since 1972. The reason being is you put the largest population boom in all history, the baby boomers, into the workforce at the same time. They compete with each other for wages, so wages didn't go up. After that, you get globalization and technology, and it makes it really hard for wages to go up. 2008, the world changed. We reset all debt to zero interest payments, and we started printing money. And what happened is asset prices took off. Now, if you change the denominator, many of the assets actually didn't really take off, they just were cyclical. But it meant that the average person was now poorer every year in the number of assets they could own. So the assets going up doesn't really help a lot of people, because the majority of people don't have assets. Yeah, the house you live in, maybe, but you live in that, what are you going to do? Liquidate it and live on the street? I mean, it's not really, it's a lifestyle asset, but it's not an asset per se. Yeah, in an emergency situation it could be. But people own, the average millennial can afford a fraction of the S&P that they could, that their parents, their baby boomer parents could when they were 30. A fraction of the real estate, a fraction of gold, a fraction of everything, which is why I've been a big proponent of crypto as the one opportunity for the younger generation and technology, because those are the only things that are going to really accrue wealth in the same way that your parents did from just buying the S&P 500. And you need to beat the balance sheet as well, which is growing at 7% a year or something on average. So you've got quite a high hurdle rate to actually get richer. So once you understand the world in these terms, you understand why populism rose so fast. Right? People just turned around and said, well, I'm not participating. The market's at all-time highs. The billionaires are all laughing, drinking champagne, flying jets, and we can barely afford anything. It's also the same discussion why people get very voracious about the argument about not ruling out fossil fuels, particularly in the US, because fossil fuels is the cost input to traveling to work and the basic things of life. And everyone's fearful that if you change systems like the EU is doing, you'll increase the cost of living on people, and nobody can do it because they're all like this. So it's a really complicated world, and it's not necessarily inflation that's the huge enemy here. Yeah, inflation really hurt people over the last 2 years, really hurt people, because the price of goods never goes down. Deflation, might happen for 1 or 2%, never comes down. So the cost of living has gone up, and it went up more than their wages.
Meet Raoul and his eye-opening revelations. Throughout our journey, we've explored the ever-changing landscapes of wealth creation and the golden opportunities that have shaped the fortunes of baby boomers. Now, Raoul compellingly argues that for millennials, Gen Z, and all visionary individuals seeking to amass wealth, the monumental opportunities lie in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence. These cutting-edge technologies, as Raoul meticulously describes, have been the fastest adopted and most transformative in history. As we part ways today, let's carry with us the wisdom and insights shared by Raoul and acknowledge the winds of change. The combination of cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence isn't just a fleeting moment. It signifies a seismic shift that has the potential to redefine the financial destiny of generations to come. These transformative technologies hold the keys to a future where unprecedented opportunities for wealth creation await those willing to embrace them. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.